Man gunned down at party in Old Harbour. A man was gunned down at a party in Old Harbour, St. Catherine. He has been identified as 30-year-old laborer Romain Harrison of Lennon Field in Old Harbour. It is reported that explosions were heard about 11:50 p.m. at a party that was being held in the vicinity of the Burco taxi stand in Old Harbour. Initial check revealed that Harrison was shot by unknown assailants. Cops from the nearby Old Harbour police station responded to the incident. Harrison was found suffering from gunshot wounds. He was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police operatives at the Old Harbour Criminal Investigations Branch are probing the matter. Good Samaritans truck killed while assisting motorists on Washington Boulevard. The St. Andrew South Police have warned a motorist for prosecution after the driver mowed down two men who had left their car to assist another road user on Washington Boulevard, Kingston 20 last week. Reports are that two men, 37-year-old Javon Rodney, a motor vehicle inspector of Drug Road Place, Ebony in St. Catherine, and 50-year-old businessman Mark Garrick of Rodolph Avenue, Kingston 20, had just rendered assistance to another motorist when the tragedy occurred. Reports are that about 3:30 a.m., Rodney and Garrick were driving along the roadway when they observed an accident and went to assist. The Good Samaritans were in the process of assisting the affected persons when they were hit by a motor vehicle. They were both taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. According to the Corporate Communication Unit, the driver of the motor vehicle that hit the two men was warned for prosecution. Man dies in Portland crash. A man succumbed to injuries he sustained after the car he was traveling in overturned on the Long Bay Main Road in Portland on Saturday. Dead is Knoxroy Hewitt, 20, a resident of Rural Hill District in Portland. According to a police report, about 5 p.m., Hewitt was a passenger in a Nissan AD wagon traveling east when it overturned to the right side of the road at Ross Craig. Hewitt and the other occupants of the car sustained injuries and were taken to hospital, where Hewitt was pronounced dead. Reporters visited the crash scene as she was among the debris stuck in the windscreen of the mantled vehicle. 5 people, including 2 brothers, killed in separate crashes. 5 people, including 2 brothers, were killed in 4 separate crashes. Dead are 20-year-old Kimani Holloway of Philadelphia in Brownstown, St. Anne, and 26-year-old Jerome Cassie of Kendall, Manchester, and 29-year-old Kenroy Miller and his twin brother, Vinroy Miller, both of Spat Valley, St. James. The other deceased has not yet been identified. The crashes occurred in St. Anne, Westmoreland, Manchester, and St. James. Kenroy and Vinroy were killed in the latest incident in St. James. Reports are that about 12:50 a.m., the men were driving separate motorcycles in opposite direction along the roadway when they collided. They sustained injuries and were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. Hours earlier, Cassie was killed along the Mount Olive Main Road in Manchester. Reports are that about 7:45 p.m., a Suzuki Jimmy was being driven towards Pauline when it failed to keep left and collided with a motorcycle Cassie was driving. Cassie sustained injuries and died at hospital. Over in St. Anne, Kimani died as a result of injuries sustained in a crash along the Valley's Main Road in Brownstown. Reports are that about 8:30 a.m., Kimani was driving a motorcycle along the roadway when he attempted to overtake a line of traffic and collided with a motor truck. An hour earlier, a man was killed in a crash along the Cave Main Road in Westmoreland. Police say at about 6:30, and another motor truck were being driven along the roadway in opposite directions when a door of the Mack motor truck swung open and made impact on the side of the other vehicle. A male passenger in that vehicle sustained injuries and was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The latest deaths pushed the number of people killed on the nation road since the start of the year to 284. Meanwhile, Vice Chairman of the National Road Council Unit, Dr. Lucien Jones, has expressed concern about the number of people being killed in the road crashes. This follows the death of 5 more users in the last 30 hours. Dr. Jones said this is unsustainable for Jamaica.
Absolute mayhem reigned on the nation's roads in the last 24 hours when 5 people perished, 4 motorcyclists, pushing up the fatality rate numbers for this year to 284, and 6 persons dead already in October. This is unsustainable for a country. This cannot be allowed to continue. Yes, we are down 11% compared to last year, but last year was an absolute disaster when 487 persons died. We cannot go back there. So, as much as we can, we have to appeal through the media to road users, especially motorcyclists.
Education Ministry continues work to install security cameras in more public schools. The Education Ministry is actively working to install security cameras in more public schools. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Dr. Kisan, announced that approximately $8 billion will be allocated to a program focused on the design and implementation of CCTV cameras in educational institutions. Meantime, she reported that Wi-Fi and broadband projects are 46% complete.
We have made some advances this year. Another 8 schools, they have been in the budget. We are doing the consultancy for this. And of course, we went into a broader consultancy for a massive program to be designed to address all schools. We are looking at a preliminary $7.something billion, Minister. So we have a consultant working through the design for us so we can go back through the PIAB process and get budget space and the capital budget for this. So we are not doing a piecemeal process. This is the extent of the transformation. We are down the wicket again. We are about 46% complete in this area. More schools now have access to the internet in the school, the promulgation, the access anywhere you can, right? So we have 317 schools now able to access the internet anywhere on their campus. We are building that out and we are grateful, but we have more work to do. We are in the procurement process for 696 schools to get those up and running, and we are committed to that over the next 2 years to complete.
Approximately 19,000 farmers receive post-Hurricane Beryl support from government. Approximately 19,000 farmers have received post-Hurricane Beryl support from the government. This assistance comes to respond to the multi-billion-dollar losses sustained by the agricultural sector during the hurricane's passage in July. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green provided an update on the 8th of the St. James Beef Farm Association Healthy Lifestyle Day activity on Thursday. He said some 50,000 layer birds will be distributed to egg farmers over the next month.
We have been leading the Hurricane Beryl recovery efforts. Already we have reached at least 19,000 farmers and have been provided with some inputs, whether it be seeds, fertilizers. We would have started our chicken distribution program. You may not know, but in Hurricane Beryl we lost about 300,000 birds through Hurricane Beryl. And as such, we've already started distribution of 57,000 broiler chicks targeting our most impacted parishes, starting with Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and now we're moving that around. This week, going into next week, we plan to start our distribution of our pullets, or layer chickens, because again, we did lose a lot of layers, and we have heard from our egg farmers that they're looking at some contraction in terms of production numbers. We're going to help our egg farmers rebound. So we've already earmarked about 50,000 pullets that will be distributed over the next month to help our egg farmers get back out there.
Mackenzie Bunting condemned deadly shooting at Mandeville Market. The Political Directorate has condemned Friday's morning shooting at the Mandeville Market in Manchester that left 2 people dead and others nursing gunshot wounds. The Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond Mackenzie, has strongly denounced the incident. There is no justification for this disgraceful and savage act, stated Mackenzie. He noted that the preliminary reports are that shortly after 10 a.m., 2 men accessed the market from the back entrance and started shooting. And of course, users of the facility had to flee for their lives. It is not yet known who the shooters are or their motive for their evil deeds, but I want to give encouragement to the police who have already secured the area to urge them to do everything possible as quickly as possible to arrest the perpetrators and place them before the courts, Mackenzie added. The minister has expressed condolences to the families of the persons who were killed and wished a speedy recovery to those who were injured. Mackenzie disclosed that he had spoken with the mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell. I want to let vendors, shoppers, and commuters know that measures will be implemented to ensure their safety and peace of mind so that they can come out over the weekend and beyond to conduct their business, he noted. According to Bunting, the tragic event highlights the ongoing threat of violent crime plaguing communities across the country. My deepest condolences goes out to the families of those who lost their loved ones, and I wish a swift recovery to those injured in this horrific incident. No Jamaican should have to live in fear of violence, whether they are at work, at home, or in public spaces, Bunting noted. We must urgently strengthen our effort to bring an end to the bloodshed and restore safety to our towns and cities, he added. The opposition spokesman said the mid-morning shooting that took place only a couple hours yard from Mandeville police station demonstrates the level of impunity with which criminals can operate in the parish capital. He is urging the Minister of National Security and High Command of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to increase personnel and other resources assigned to the division before the parish loses its image as one of the most peaceful in the island. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.